Katrina, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, how you guys MP, what you do, a little bit about your family, things like that, and then we'll go from there.
So yeah, I actually, like she said, came here back in April of 2017. I am a hairstylist. I have been for about 12 years now. I have a family of 3 kids. I have a 15-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And then, yeah, I grew up here in Schaumburg, and believe it or not, I didn't even, know you guys were here until one day I got a Facebook message, and the rest is kind of history, I think, where we're at now.
So Katrina's a mom, a busy mom of 3 kids. She is, works a ton. She helps us out here actually at the front desk. She also is a hairstylist, been doing that, you said, for 12 years.
12 years now.
Which is crazy, which is a super busy line of work. I know you work lots of crazy hours.
It can be.
Weekends, all kinds of stuff. And somehow she still made time to work on her health and fitness, and has been able to lose over 50 pounds since starting with us at MP. So we're going to dive right into the questions, Katrina. I'm going to ask you the first questions. I got my notes here because I want to make sure that I ask the right questions. And I gave her questions before, so she's prepared for this. So I want you to talk to us a little bit today about, you had mentioned in your bio that you were an athlete in high school, and athletics was kind of a part of your life.
Absolutely.
You were, fit and active and things like that in high school. So let's talk. I know that happens a lot. We get a lot of former athletes in here, whether it's high school or collegiate athletes, whatever the case may be. But I want you to talk to us about that journey, about being an athlete in previous years, kind of getting into a place where you weren't, kind of out of shape, and then getting back into that, what that's done for you mentally and emotionally, because that's kind of a roller coaster for people who are like that.
Absolutely. So I think for me, it was more, like you said, I was an athlete. I played volleyball and softball for years, many years. And I think for me, I got injured in high school. Excuse me, I played volleyball, and I had a really bad injury, knee injury. I tore my patellar tendon, and I let it just break me down. I was out. I couldn't play. I think that for me, that was just the starting point of just this roller coaster that I went on. I tried to stay a little bit active, but I always used it as my crutch. Oh, I can't do too much because my knee might hurt. Oh, I might, do something else to it. So I let that really take over. So into my 20s, I really, I tried to do, intramural sports. I tried to just stay active, but I just let it consume me. And then the weight started coming on, and then I think that, for me, it was always my crutch. After I got hurt, that was it. Well, I can't do anymore because I might get hurt, or I can't do this because I might re-injure something else, and that was just my mindset. And then other things happened alongside with that. So that was just like the breaking point of how I got to be as heavy as I was, and the roller coaster that I went on. And then, I was 24, 25 when I got pregnant the first time. And then it was just, like I said, it was a roller effect after that.
So I want to dive a little bit more into the question, because coming back into like working out and things like that as a former athlete, and always using kind of your injury as your crutch, what is that like here for you now? Do you still fight that mental battle sometimes?
It's really funny because yes, I do. But it's funny because I feel like my whole everything has brought me to where I'm at now, and why I'm so successful here now. It's not just that it's A, B, C, and D that just brought me here. I feel like I had to take a step back and stop pleasing other people in my life and using excuses to lead my life, and just take it back over. I knew, mentally, your body can handle so much more than you think it can, and I had to let go of that. Are there times that I'm still afraid, like, I can't do that because I might hurt? Absolutely. I think everybody does that. But my strength now is so much more important to me than it has ever been. And I think strengthening myself, my body, has also strengthened my mind, and that's where my totally different mindset comes from.
That's awesome. So if you guys are just tuning in, we got Facebook up right now. So what's up, ladies? We're here with Katrina. We had a little technical difficulties at the beginning, but we are here with Katrina Spencer. She's talking to us today about her 50-pound weight loss journey. 40 pounds of that came in 12 weeks. And then just a little over 50, and still going, I believe, right now. So if you're just tuning in, if you can hear me and if you can see us, could you give us some thumbs up, some hearts, some likes, some love? If you know Katrina, if you've seen her in the studio, show her some love. We were just talking a little bit about her background as an athlete and her injury and how that kind of set her back for a while and kind of set her up for her future as a fierce female and the success that she's had here. And I think that happens a lot with athletes who get injured. And it kind of just stops you and freezes you dead in your tracks. Like you just feel like, and then it instills the sense of fear of like, what if this happens again? Because I don't want to go through that 8 or 12 months of recovery again. So I have to be super careful. And then all of a sudden it's holding you back from being successful. So the next question I have for you, Katrina, is I want you to talk us through, in your bio, you talked a lot about different diet trends that you've tried, you know, from juices to soup diets to Dr. Oz cleanses to things like that. I want you to talk us through all the fad diets that you've tried. I want you to talk about what stuck, and I also want you to talk about why you decided to go the conventional route of working on your health and
So do we
fitness.
have like 2 hours?
I'm going to give you like 5 minutes.
So, okay, I've tried everything under the sun. Obviously, nothing stuck, nothing worked because I'd lose it, I'd gain it. I'd lose it, I'd gain it. It was this roller coaster of just madness. I think, you know, like you said, I tried cabbage soup diet. Like, who does that? That's disgusting.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Did that.
Okay.
I did a Dr. Oz 21-day fix, something like that. Yeah, I lost a good amount of weight, and then I gained it all back tenfold, and then some more, and then I did juicing, I did isogenics, I've done Weight Watchers, I've done beach body stuff. Like I have tried anything and everything you can think of under the sun. Yeah, you lose the weight, but then it comes right back on, and I think that's when, you know, at my heaviest, I just, that was it. It was like my breaking point. And again, here we are. Who knew? Good nutrition and exercise would get you to it.
Right. And that was the
Mind
crazy,
blown.
right? So that's what I'm talking about, the conventional route, right? Getting in the gym, exercising, eating right, working out, because it's so crazy. And I talked about this last night on our Friday Fitness Fact that we do in our group pages. I'm like, we saw this commercial for freezing away your fat the other day, and I'm like, what's next? Like, are we going to start sawing it off at home? Like, it just blows my mind that people don't understand that a little bit of hard work and a little bit of dedication to your health and wellness goes an extremely long ways.
Well, and I think too, like, and I think this is my biggest aha from here. Like, I look at pictures of myself in the past, and I was skinnier. You know, I was like not as heavy as I maybe once was. But my body was so different. The way that I look, the muscle tone, the way that my clothes fit me. Yeah, I may have been where I'm at now, but I was still never as, my physique was never as toned as it is now, as, you know, as good as I feel now too.
Yes,
so.
absolutely. So everybody tries fad diets, right? It's like the thing. Everybody does. Tries everything under the sun before they actually realize that eating healthy and losing weight and getting in the gym and getting in a program is actually what really works for the long term, right? You haven't gained a pound back since you started with us.
Nope, it's been almost a year. And I eat cookies, and I eat cake, and I eat pizza,
and you drink wine.
Drink wine. Yes, I do.
Yes, Katrina drinks wine.
I like wine.
So you have to understand that there's some kind of a balance, right? And that's the best part about this is you've learned that balance. You've learned to have that balance in your life where you still enjoy life, but you still have goals. And you still know what it feels like to be healthy and what it feels like to lose the weight. And you also know what it feels like to be at your lowest point. And 100%. That's got to be some kind of a driver to never want to go back to that space.
Exactly. The driver is,
So I want to talk now, we're going to get a little bit deep. We're going to kind of go into some painful stuff, but I think that the best part about these interviews is that you ladies open up and be vulnerable, because there are so many women that are out there that are going to see this and watch this and relate to you and relate to the things that you've been through. So you talked again in your bio about miscarriages that you've experienced in your life throughout the pregnancies that you've had and the struggles with that. So I want to talk about how did the pain that you felt in the past through those experiences, how did it drive you to be healthier in your future? How did it dictate the future that you wanted to have for yourself and for your family?
Definitely. So, So I think, you know, my first one was before my first son. And I think that
Landon, he's a sweetheart.
He's 5. I have a stepson, he's older, but 5, I had it right before him, and that one put me in a deep dark hole that I couldn't crawl out of. And I used food as a crutch. I definitely thought, oh, well, this is going to be my life. Let me just eat myself away. And you don't listen to the people around you, and you don't, my best friends, my mom, my husband, they were telling me, Katrina, like, it's okay, it happened, and it brings you into this hole. And the only thing that comforted me was food. Until one day, the people in your life that you don't really think are looking or don't really think are paying attention, it took that for, my dad even to say, like, hey, wake up, what are you doing? So I actually started my first pregnancy extremely overweight. I had a terrible pregnancy. I was gestationally diabetic. I had really bad edema. I was put on bed rest at like 29 weeks. Landon was 5 weeks early, so he was premature. I had just anything under the sun you could think of, I had, and it was because of my weight. And then after having him, it was kind of that same idea, like, oh, okay, let's try to lose this weight. It's going to happen. And it did. It fell off.
Right.
And then another miscarriage. So it's, it's a rollerball effect of, once that happened again, then here we are right back to where food is my friend. And I just always used that as my crutch. So with my second child, she's 2, her pregnancy was so much better, because I decided to focus a little bit and stay a little bit more healthy with it. And it really just said, okay, I'm not going to do that again.
Right.
But, after having her, I'm older, I'm, things are changing in my body, and I couldn't take the weight off, and it wasn't coming off. And then here I go again, and I'm getting frustrated, and here we are, plain and simple, food is my crutch.
Right.
So I think that was really where I'm at now. I wasn't going to let myself get to that point again, and food was no longer going to be what I looked to if I had a bad day.
If you guys are just tuning in, if you guys are just tuning in, we're talking to Katrina today, and she's telling us a little bit about miscarriages that she experienced, the struggle with her pregnancies and gaining the weight, and then after her second pregnancy, she really struggled to kind of get that weight off again, and then all of a sudden it became like, how am I ever going to get this off?
Right.
Like, it came off so easy.
And that's where the next piece comes in,
Yeah, and if you guys can relate to that, why don't you show us some thumbs up, some hearts, some likes if you have ever in your life kind of used food as a crutch, or if you are a stress eater, or if that's kind of how you deal with things that are going on in your life. If that's you, I want you to show some love. Yeah, we got lots of thumbs up. Yeah, and honestly, ladies, to you guys who are showing the love and stuff like that on Facebook, I'm glad that you're tuning in, because Katrina is going to talk now about how she kind of pulled herself out of that kind of rabbit hole that she was in of using food as a crutch. You want to unlock your phone? My notes are on your phone. She's going to talk now about how she kind of crawled herself out of that, how she pulled herself out of that hole, and how she's been able to have such success now. So the next question I have for you is, what kind of example do you hope to be for the people that you see every day and for your family? Like, what kind of example do you want to lead? What do you want to teach people about the things that you've gone through?
So I think the word that I would use is positive. I think positivity, just because you're having a bad day, or you think that you're being, negative, or you think that there's always something positive. At the end of the day, when you look at your day, don't focus so much on the negativity in your life. Take one positive and roll with it. Think of it as, okay, yeah, I might have had this bad day, but I'm still here. I'm still breathing. I'm still, whatever it might be for the day. And I think, for my kids, I want to show them that it's really important to be healthy. It really is. It's important to stay healthy. It's important to be active. It is important to, live life not using something as a crutch, as I keep saying, always staying positive. I think that's the biggest thing. Positivity. Yeah, it's one of those things that people always look towards to, you're always going to complain about something. There always is going to be something to be complaining about.
Right.
Why do it?
Right.
You know?
I try to tell people it's almost like finding the win in your day, right? You find the win in your day, because at the end of the day, everybody has at least one good thing that happens to them during their day.
Yeah.
Whether that's your kid gets a good grade on a test at school, or they brought an art project home for you, or you had a success at work, you finished a project and your boss gave you a pat on the back, or you had a client that loved their hair and was just like raving about you.
I think a lot of times people focus on the biggest picture and they don't focus on those little wins in the day. I don't ask Landon, how was your day at school? I say, tell me one thing that was great. And do you know, if I say, how was your day at school? Fine. If I ask him, tell me one thing that was great. Oh, I did this and I did this and I love math. And so like just asking about something, tell me one thing that was great in your day. People are just going to start to pour out the great things because they don't think about them. They only think about them.
And I think that kind of stuff creates mental fortitude.
Yes.
And it creates a mindset of positivity in anything, right? If you can pull positivity out of the people around you, you're going to change their life whether you think that you're going to or not, which I think is a great thing. So positivity is definitely key. We're going to talk next a little bit about, so Katrina's been through a lot in her life, and she is a testament to the fact that you never let anything knock you down, right? You never let anything push you down, stop you dead in your tracks or anything like that, right? So Katrina has a heart condition, and I'm going to have you talk about that in a little bit, but I want to talk about how your condition affects your health and wellness, how it affects you in the gym, and we'll just go from there. So why don't you talk just briefly about that?
Well, so we'll pull it back just a little bit, and my journey started here actually when I found out that I had a lot of these different things. I was getting dizzy spells and chest pains and all these things that being overweight is what I just thought it was. So I ended up, going to the hospital, getting all these tests done, and I found out I had a heart condition. It's called cardiomegaly, and my heart is too big for my chest cavity, so it can create over time, it can clogs in your valves and in your ventricles and things like that, and being overweight is not good. I was pre-diabetic. I was, just all these different things that were starting to take over my life. And again, here I am in this deep, dark hole. And I said, something's got to give. I have, children that I need to be healthy for, that I need to be there for. And I think that literally it was like a sign of God, Brittany's face, sign of God,
everybody
saying,
it's fine.
saying you need to do something else with your life. And literally I made the appointment, and the day that I had my orientation is the day that I found out, yes, I have these things, but I'm not so off that edge that I can't make them better, and I can't pull myself off that edge and create a better, more positive life for myself and for my family. So I 12 weeks or 6 weeks, first 6 weeks started here, and I didn't tell anybody I was doing it. Nobody knew. It was for myself. I couldn't let other people's comments or their negativity or anything like that hold me back from what I knew I needed to do, not only for myself, but for my family. So I think that that's kind of where it started. And then just that mentality has now just pushed me through to the next thing and the next thing and what about the next thing. So as far as it goes, 6 months into my journey, I went back to the doctor. I am now not pre-diabetes yet. Nope, nothing like that. Everything is healthy. My sugars are great. And my heart condition, my valves and my ventricles are clear. All I'll have to do now is if I keep going on the route I'm going, staying healthy, eating right, doing things like that, they have positivity that it's just going to be something that I'm just going to have a really big heart. Always.
There you go. She's just always
I'm just always going to have a big heart, and then there's nothing else. So, I think that, and that's also what drives me. It's like, okay, my kids are my life. They need to know that I'm going to be healthy and be there for them, in lack of a better word. So.
If you guys are just tuning in, again, we're talking to Katrina Spencer today about her 40 to 50 pound weight loss journey. 40 pounds came in 12 weeks. 2 6-week challenges it took to lose that 40 pounds. And then the other 10 plus have come from just hard work and dedication, continuing her journey here at MP. So if you can hear us, if you can see us, if you have been watching this and you're enjoying what you're hearing from Katrina, give us some hearts and love and likes. She loves the hearts and loves and likes. We like that. So to recap kind of what you said, what I kind of got out of that was you're the kind of person that's super internally motivated.
Yes.
And there's not a lot of people out there that are like that, who are internally motivated. You know, there are people who need other people to know,
Right.
You know, what they're doing and how they're doing it, because it helps them stick to the plan,
Absolutely.
right? So you're kind of on the opposite side of the spectrum of that. And I just want you to touch just briefly, and I didn't give you this question, but I think it's important to talk about how you stay internally motivated with all of the things that you've had going on in your life. You're busy now because, mind you, when Katrina changed from a 6-week challenger to a member, she had like all the excuses in the world of, I'm too busy, there's no way that I can do this, I've got 3 kids, I work at this job, and blah blah blah, and now I can't get her out of here. Like even if I try. So
6 days a week.
Yeah, so there was a total mindset shift for you, and it was internal. And I want you to talk just briefly on how you stay internally motivated, and what can you teach people who kind of struggle with that.
Okay, so that's hard. It's hard. It is hard, but I think for me, it's always, and I was always when I stepped on the scale every single day. I threw it out. I threw out my scale, and I said, Katrina, this is not about your weight anymore. This is about your lifestyle. This is about what you've done and all of the things that I had done in the past, and all of those things that, you know, brought me to where I was, I think is what helped me start being more internally accountable for everything. But then at the end of the day, I feel like it's the people around me, because positivity, again, it's the positivity thing that I keep going back to. But like when you have positive people in your life, you don't need that external accountability or that external push. You need that internal just fire. It gets set, and I feel like it just doesn't stop. You just keep going. Of course, you're going to hit your, you know, your ups and your downs. And I had a dress that just, you know, didn't fit. Guess what, guys? It fits. So
Her dress fits.
My dress
That's
fits.
been the topic of conversation for like 2 weeks.
2 weeks, it fits. But I think that it's that mental thing. And now guess what? Now that dress fits, I'm going to move to the next dress. I'm going to buy another one, and I'm going to move to that. And I'm going to say, Katrina, you need to fit in that dress. I think that if you can't be accountable for yourself, it's really hard sometimes for having to have other people be accountable for you all the time. They have lives too. You can't expect it from other people. So I think for me, it was one of those things where I had to just dig as deep as I could and just find the fire, light it, and not let it go out.
And I think that the fire kind of some of the spark to the flame is the things that you've been through in your life. And sometimes you have to use the trials and the tribulations of your life.
Use them, ladies.
Right. You have to use those things in order to kind of push yourself through, right? The things that have happened to you in the past always drive and dictate your future. So the last thing I want to kind of finish up with, number 1, is how do you not allow your knee injury, or, you know, you've got some back things going on and your heart condition, how do you not let your ailments, because we all have it, right? We all have achy knees and, you know, stiff neck and my back and my shoulder, right? We all have ailments, right? We all have ailments that stop us from doing things, right?
Yeah.
But how do you not allow those things to stop you from taking the steps that are necessary to move forward?
So, okay, honestly, it's one of those things where at the end of the day, or at the beginning of this, my biggest thing is I was sick and tired of making excuses for myself or putting other people, not even other people before me, but like other people's needs before mine. Yes, I have to be, you know, my kids' needs are important, but if I'm not meeting my goals and having my needs met, how am I going to help them? So I think for me, the only answer and the best answer for that is no more excuses. Stop making excuses for the things that I want in my life. I want this. I want that dress to fit. I want that swimsuit to look fire on me this summer. You know, I want those things in my life. So why am I going to continue making the excuses that I have my entire life? My knee hurts. My back hurts. My head hurts. I'm too tired. I worked too long. You know, it's an endless battle when you do that. And you're just going to keep ending up in the same place with the same results if you're doing the same thing.
Right, exactly.
Switch it up, change it up.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was great advice. So I think to that point is you can't continue to make excuses.
No.
You are in the driver's seat of your life and what happens in your life and the results that you get, and you have to take accountability and responsibility for those things and just get it done. No matter how tired you are, no matter what happens at work, you've just got to get it in and get it done if you really want great results like you've gotten. So to end this out, what if there's somebody sitting at home who is Katrina, 8 months ago,
Yes.
what would you tell her? What would be the best advice that you would tell her to just get started?
I mean, honestly, it has to be inside of you. It has to be something that you want to do, because if you don't want to be here, it's not going to happen. If you don't want to fix it, it's not going to happen. You need to have that drive first. But then I think it's just getting over that fear. Just do it. Just try it. I mean, something, what is it, 21 days to change a habit or something
Actually,
like that?
it's 66 days,
Or
right?
60,
Marcia?
right?
I think
Something,
it's 66
whatever,
days.
whatever it is.
We
Give me-
debunked the myth on
Okay,
that.
so we debunked the myth, and also the myth of fat weighs more than muscle, or muscle weighs more than. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we debunked
Yeah,
that
that
myth, too.
doesn't.
That's a whole
That's a
nother
lot.
topic.
But I think give it 66 days. Challenge yourself. For me, give yourself 66 days. Talk to me. Tell me, hey, this is my day 1 of 66. I'm gonna try it, because let me tell you what. After those days, it becomes part of you. It becomes who you are. It's like Katrina, gym, bam. That's it.
It's just part of your
It's part of
identity.
my identity now. Everybody around me knows this is where I go. Everybody around me asks, what are you doing? A person I haven't seen in how many years? Oh my God, you look amazing. If you want those things, just try it.
Right.
Give us that 66 days.
Exactly. So with that being said, if you ladies have any questions, I don't know if I've got any questions on there. I can't really see. Do you want to open Katrina's going to open her phone. We'll check and see with the live video if there's any questions on the live video.
I don't even know. Let's see.
There we go. Yep. Hold on. That's not it.
Oh,
That's
just
right.
kidding.
We're going to check and see. We're going to go to our Midwest Performance page and see if we've got any questions. Ladies, if you got some value out of this interview, why don't you show us some thumbs up, some hearts, some likes, some love. Show Katrina that you guys enjoyed the fire that she brought today in her interview. I think that you guys can learn a lot of things from Katrina and her journey and the things that she's been through in her life. She has been through a lot, but we all have, right? Everybody goes through crap in their life, right?
And
We all
use it.
have, right.
Use it.
And you have to use that as fuel, I think, is the biggest thing here, ladies. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and place them in the comments below. It's really hard to see. We're waiting to see if that's okay. I don't see anything. Oh, here we go. Okay. Katrina is a beast from Ida. Jennifer mentioning stress eating. Shauna Becker, stay positive. Katrina is always positive. Absolutely. Jamie. Thanks for the comments, ladies. Christina. Jackie or Lori is tuning in. Christina, Sylvia, it's great to see you ladies on here. So with that being said, ladies, we're going to sign out. Thank you so much, Katrina, for sharing your story, for being vulnerable for the rest of the ladies that are watching this, because at the end of the day, you're going to inspire. Even if it's just one person, that's what makes the difference. So with that being said, guys, we're going to tune out. It was great seeing all of you, and we'll see you next Saturday on episode number 7 of Coffee with MP. Bye. See you.